you for your cooperation. Where are you from?
Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Japan?
Roughly 9 months now.
9 months.
Yes.
Are you working here?
Yeah, it's working holiday.
Working holiday.
Yes.
Are you co-workers or
No.
friends?
Friends.
We're friends.
Yeah.
We met in the same share house.
Share
When we started
house.
our working holiday.
Why did you choose to come to Japan on a working holiday visa?
Japan was always very interesting to me. And at the same time, as a German, it is quite easy to get like a 1-year visa for Japan until you turn 30 and learn the language a bit more because I studied it for a bit in university as a language course. And that's really the reason. It's just
For me, there were a couple of reasons. But I've always wanted to see Japan, experience the culture, the food, travel around Japan. And I would say the last reason, maybe even the biggest one, was just to have an adventure.
Nice. What do you do in Japan?
currently I'm working in a video game translation company and checking the German translations for proper grammar, like that the actual content is actually what it's supposed to be. Like that's my job currently.
I do the same kind of job.
Oh.
So also LPA work, basically checking the translation that already has been made and see if it's proper in German or English.
So working in English or Japanese?
English
German
and
and English.
German mostly, yeah. It's just very, very little Japanese. Like sometimes, if you're really lucky, I'd say, you have to talk to like a Japanese client, but that's very, very rarely.
How did you spend in Japan for these 9 months? First, like went to
Yeah. So,
school or something?
So I would say the first month was just acclimating to Japan, and then I went on a trip with a friend to Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, and Nara. We also went to Miyajima, and after that I came back to Tokyo, got the job in LPA in translation, started to work there, went to Nikko, went to Hokkaido. For June it's also going to be work, but after that I'm going to Okinawa.
Nice. You did adventure, as you said.
Yes, just like that.
well, for me it was a bit different. Like when I arrived here, it was the first month was also acclimatization, like just getting used to the stuff. I also went to language school for the first month just to get back into like speaking Japanese and learning the grammar. And afterwards, because I lived in Saitama for a month, it's only going to be for 2 more months. It's like working and then just enjoying Tokyo, and after that it's Okinawa. I really want to see Hiroshima. I want to go to Nagasaki. And
What do you do in Saitama?
nothing really. I was just it was the first months. You just everything was new and interesting. So you went to a lot of restaurants. Like there was a huge mall there, one of the Aeon malls. So we hang out there and just see different shops. Just see Japan for the first time. It was very, very interesting just because everything was new. Like every street sign was interesting because you tried to read it. It's like, yeah, there was Saitama for the first month because it's very quiet, Saitama.
Right.
It wasn't as hard, I would say, for me personally, because I knew a bit about Japan before I came here. I've always seen videos, documentaries, read up on it, so there was no, let's say, shock to the system. So it was quite easy to get into the daily life routine here.
Is there not a lot of things major surprised in Japan?
Not that many, but just like opening a door, like when you go to Yoshinoya, it's like, how do I open this? If you stand there, like, okay, how do you do it? And you just see like an old grandpa walking by and just like pressing it. It's like, of course. Yeah.
That's true. Because if you come here with like previous experience, like through movies or like documentaries or whatever, you have like some understanding at least. But when you come here and you don't know, like I was able to read katakana, hiragana when I came back. Sure, that wasn't enough. The first time I was at Family Mart, I was completely out of my element. Like I was just asked about a fukuro and I didn't know what to do. Right? So if you come here and you don't speak any Japanese, it can be quite difficult. So that was kind of a shock at first to be in a situation where your English doesn't help you. You have to engage with it, and at a certain point, after like 3 months, you know how to open the door at Yoshinoya.
Yeah.
You know what to wait for in the konbini. Like you know the usual routine. So it gets easier with time, and at a certain point, you just start enjoying yourself instead of working wherever you go.
Like sushi, ramen are famous in Japan. So what was the new things after you came to Japan?
Abura soba was completely new to me. Like soba is of course also a thing like in Germany or in Europe, but like abura soba was something that I've never heard of before and which I absolutely fell in love with. The same for me was like the fried chicken culture here, the karaage.
Oh.
It was very surprising that this is such a huge thing here.
How about things other than food?
One thing that threw me off in the beginning was how you order here. Like you really scream, "Oh, sumimasen," like you do that. Because in Germany we don't really do that. We try to make eye contact first. I would rather say, and we're not screaming that much. Like we're just raising the hand more often than not. I think one thing that was new to the language was I knew a bit of Japanese, but I didn't know keigo at all. So you have like, all right, you go to the konbini, you buy something, and then there's like, "Rejibukuro goryou desu ka?" It's like, what? I've never heard this phrase in my life, and I'm like, what do you mean? And it's just bag. So that was some of the new things.
But you know the issue is when you go to school, like you learn the keigo.
Yeah.
And then I'm standing there and I'm awaiting the keigo. But the cashier is just like casually like fukuro. It's like,
That's true.
because in my head I wanted the entire sentence, and at that point I was again like,
Yeah, it's like
what's going on? What does he want from me? It's like
Right.
you always like run into difficulties, be it keigo or not. Like
Yeah, that's true.
you really, you know, over time you start understanding, like really understanding like singular words in Japanese, which makes it a lot easier. But at the beginning it's just like it's so fast and it just kind of bleeds into each other. So it's
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so Japanese doesn't have like alphabet, so it's totally new languages for you guys, like
Oh, yeah.
hiragana, katakana, kanji. So why did you choose to start learning Japanese?
because it's if I wanted to learn French, for example, I could probably do that at home, right? Because no, it's not like I'm very intelligent, but when you have like the European languages, there's quite a lot of overlap between them, right? Like they're very similar, be it down to
Yeah.
structure and like it's the same writing system, so it's easy to take some of your skills and transfer that. The Japanese is like completely different. The writing system in and of itself. Hiragana, katakana is fine, it's doable. But as soon as it gets to the kanji, you're completely in a new world.
Oh yes.
So I wanted to learn a language that was so far removed from my native language as possible. And so I picked Japanese. It's very difficult, it still is. Sometimes I want to give up, it's almost every week. But at the same time, I really enjoy how Japanese just mixes hiragana, katakana, kanji, and romaji. It's just very beautiful to look at. You have like different signs which use 3 to 4 different writing systems. That's a lot of. So that's one of the reasons why I was really interested in learning Japanese.
For me personally, it was, you know, as a child, we always had like these animes on certain TV channels, and I just, you know, heard the Japanese, and it was like, oh, it sounds so cool, it sounds so awesome. Or I've read Japanese somewhere and was like, this looks so cool just to learn, just to see. I think another one was what I want to learn, like this triangle, like Chinese, Korean, or Japanese. But since I'm so invested into the culture and, you know, be it pop culture or whatever, I took Japanese.
I also tried learning Chinese for half a year in university. And the difficulty is like with Japanese, you have like all this media that's getting exported. Be it like anime, be it movies, music, video games. Like you have so much that's coming out of Japan culturally. And compared to that, like Chinese movies exist, of course, but the industry hasn't been that big since forever. So it's like it's harder to find something that you like in Chinese, I guess, than it would be in Japanese, because there's definitely something.
What do you think about the kanji?
Like for example, like the Shin from Shinjuku, meaning it means new.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But then you have like, instead of one reading, you have 2, konyomi and onyomi. One is borrowed from the Chinese side, one the Japanese added. And it always changes, you know. It's like very stressful. Definitely.
Yeah, right.
I've been to Korea like a month ago, and on my flight there, which was like 1.5 hours, I was able to learn like all the letters of the Korean alphabet. It's not possible in Japanese because like kanji is.
Have you ever asked yourself, like when you look at the Yamanote line,
Yeah.
where is the no? You have Yama and Te.
Yeah.
But what's
Sure.
the no? That is like a rule. It's like sometimes you have silent silent readings. There's like a lot of rules around that. I think that's one of the toughest things. Yeah.
Definitely.
What's your favorite kanji?
Ryu, like the old one, the old dragon kanji.
Ryu.
Ryu.
Mm.
It looks very cool. Plus, dragon is also always a nice meaning. At least for me.
For me, it's not that difficult because I only know the easy ones. So it has to be tomare because it looks like a guy who's handing up his hand and just saying no, stop. Like, that's why I like it.
All right, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, it was a pleasure.
Dankeschön.
Oh,
ありがとうございます。Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.